رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. So inshallah, in this recording we are going to start from ayah number 17 and we're going to go up to ayah number 27. In the previous session we spoke about the mukaththib, right? The person who denies accountability. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in ayah number 14 mentions also why he denied accountability. And kana dha mali wa banin, because he had children and wealth, right? He disobeyed, he turned away, and he rebelled against the one who gave him everything. Now, in ayah number 17, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the favors that he grants to an individual, to a community, right? It is not a means of preference, showing preference of one over the other, right? That's absolutely not the case. What is it then? When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants favors, it is only a means to test. Test if the person, if the community is thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if he or the community is making an effort to be obedient, to submit themselves to the will of the one who has given them everything, right? So that's exactly what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to communicate to the people of Mecca, and by extension us, when he says inna balawnahum kama balawna ashab al-jannah. Indeed, we tested them. Tested whom? The people of Mecca. How did he test them? By giving them wealth, by giving them stature, by giving them power, recognition, financial stability, economic prosperity, right? Meccans, the Quraysh, they had it all, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning that was a means of testing them. Testing them, kama balawna ashab al-jannah, like we tested the people of the garden. Who are the people of the garden? About the people of the garden, it is reported that there was this man who had a vast garden, right? And it was his practice to invite the needy and the poor of the community and give a share of his produce to them, right? So he would share the fruits, basically. Whatever he made, he would share it with the needy of the community. That was his practice. But when he dies, his sons, what they decide is, our father was foolish to do that. We can't continue with this practice anymore. We need it for ourselves because we're such a big family, right? Basically, what was happening here is greed got the better of them, and they wanted to keep everything for themselves. They didn't want to share anything with anyone. So they wanted to do away with the practice, with the tradition that their father had established, right? So they planned. They planned in such a way to make sure that they have it all for themselves. Whatever their farms produce, they have it all for themselves, and no one comes and stakes a claim on that. Because of their evil intentions, because of their evil planning, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them a consequence in dunya itself, right? Their farm catches fire and is burnt down to ashes. Like, it is destroyed beyond recognition, such that even when they were standing in front of the farm, they were not able to recognize it, right? It is this incident that is mentioned in these ayahs number 17 to 32. However, in this recording, we're going to go only up to ayah number 27, okay? So, now, continuing from ayah number 17 itself, inna balawnahum kama balawna ashab al-jannah, gave you the context for that. إِذْ أَقْسَمُوا, when they took an oath, right? So now there are, in this surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in this passage, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning what the people of the garden did. إِذْ أَقْسَمُوا, when they took an oath. Who are the they? The people of the garden, right? When they took an oath, what was the oath about? لَا يَسْرِمُنَّهَا musbihin, that they are going to collect all their fruits, right? Pluck everything from the trees early in the morning, musbihin. One of the mufassir, he mentions in the tafsir of this ayah, what it means is they vowed to go secretly into the gardens way early in the morning, right? Before the masakin and the faqir, they arrived there, right? The fuqara, they arrived there. They will gather all the fruits for themselves. وَلَا يَسْتَثْنُونَ, and they did not yastasnoon say inshallah. And that this is the tafsir that has been given by the majority of the mufassirun, right? They didn't say inshallah, meaning they thought no one was going to be able to stop them from doing what they wanted to do today. There is no one who's going to come in their way, right? That's how confident they were in their planning. Ayah number 19, فطاف عليها طائف من ربك وهم نائمون. فطاف عليها طائف من ربك, right? So a ta'if from their Rabb, literal translation, a ta'if from their Rabb circled upon it, right? What does this mean? Ta'if bima'na azab min rabbik. Ta'if means punishment from your Rabb. It can also mean it can also refer to Jibril alayhi salam, right? Imam Qurtubi mentions it in his mufassir, in his tafsir, that it can also mean Jibril alayhi salam, or it can simply mean a command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because it is reported that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent a fire down from the sky that burnt down the field, right? Wahum na'imun, while they were sleeping, right? فَأَصْبَحَتْ كَالصَّرِيمِ, and it became sarim. Sarim meaning barren. There was nothing on it. Like the land became unusable. Everything that they had, that they were planning to keep to themselves, it was all gone, like disappeared in one night. But they are completely unaware of what has happened, right? This thing happened while they were wahum na'imun, while they were sleeping. This azab came down upon them. Now that azab can be a fire from the sky, or it was Jibreel alayhi salam that just came down by the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and destroyed the gardens, right? Whatever it is, they're completely unaware of what has happened at this point. So what are they doing? The scene shifts to them. فَتَنَادَوْا مُصْبِحِينَ, unaware of what went down in their farms while they were sleeping. In the morning, they wake up and they call out to one another. أَنِغْدُوا عَلَى حَرْثِكُمْ, go early to your gardens. إِن كُنْتُمْ صَارِمِينَ, if you want to pluck all your fruits today, right? فَانْطَلَقُوا وَهُمْ يَتَخَافَتُونَ, so they set out. يَتَخَافَتُونَ, whispering to one another. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anh mentions they're whispering in order to make sure that no one hears them. Like they got it all covered. That's basically how they planned. No one's going to, they said, no one's going to come in our way today. We are going to do what we set our minds to, right? So, فَانْطَلَقُوا وَهُمْ يَتَخَافَتُونَ أَلَّا يَدْخُلَنَّهَا الْيَوْمَ عَلَيْكُمْ مِسْكِينٌ. What are they whispering to one another? No faqir, no miskin, no poor or needy person will be able to enter the farms today. No way, right? وَغَدَوْا عَلَى حَرْدٍ قَادِرِينَ. وَغَدَوْا, they went early. عَلَى حَرْدٍ, full of energy. Just imagine, picture this, right? Marching forward, leaping forward, right? قَادِرِينَ, thinking they're fully able to execute their plan, chop all the fruits all by themselves, and keep away the faqir and the miskin from taking anything from their share today. So they're marching forward with full determination, with full resolve, right? فَلَمَّا رَأَوْهَا, when they arrived, like when they saw it, رَأَوْهَا, when they saw it, saw their garden, قَالُوا, they said, إِنَّا لَضَالُّونَ, they thought that they arrived at the wrong address, that it was a wrong place, that this is not their property. But when they realized, no, it wasn't the wrong address, it was their property, it was their garden, that they were indeed standing in front of their property, they said, بَلْ نَحْنُ مَحْرُومُونَ. They realized at this point, looking at that barren garden, right, burnt down to ashes, that their evil intentions had caught up to them. That while they were planning, and were confident that they would be able to prevent and deprive the needy and the poor from the share in their gardens, right? It is actually them who have become deprived. Mahrumun. Bal nahnu mahrumun. Today they thought that they would deprive the needy from their share, but the tables are completely turned on them, and today they stand deprived. Like Imam Razi says, Al-amru inqalaba alayna fasirna nahnu mahrumin. In the tafsir of this ayah, Imam Razi says that the situation completely flipped on us. We thought we would deprive the others, but in reality, today, here, we stand deprived. You know, this story brings to mind a very powerful hadith, which is reported by Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, and I'll conclude this by mentioning this hadith. إياكم والمعاصي إن العبد لا يذنب الذنب فيحرم به رزقا قد كان هيئ له. Right? Be careful of sins. إياكم والمعاصي. Be careful of sins and being disobedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إن العبد ليذنب الذنب. When a person commits a sin, his sin may be the reason for the discontinuation of a provision. فيحرم به رزقا. Right? His sin may be the reason for the discontinuation of a provision, a rizq that was prepared for him. Right? They had the garden. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provided them in their rizq, but their sin, which we call greed, right? Which didn't allow them to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for what He has given them. It came in the way of their provision. And therefore, their provision, their rizq, was taken away from them. They thought they had a foolproof plan and that no one would be able to stop them today. But they forgot. And like many of us who forget that Allah, He is the King of the dominions. Allahumma malik al-mulk tu'ti al-mulka man tasha wa tanzi'u al-mulka mimman tasha. O Allah, You are the King of the dominion. You grant kingdom to whoever You wish, and You take away the kingdom from whoever You wish. Surah Al-Imran, ayah number 26. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون سلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.